So in this Barplot R Markdown, we will start from how we can add multiple graphs and then one legend, and how we can add some bar plots for categorical variables only, and insert some parameters on the bar plot. This is really quick and an easy coding that we will do today. So let's see. So we will be using these R Markdown slides that I prepared for you. It takes some time to open, and then we need to use this RMD file where I added all the codes. This is the output as usual, and then I will also create a PNG file, the permanent file that I showed you last time, and we are going to use the VRI data and trees data. So you can use both, or you can use just the R data files. So over here, when I open the bar plot, I need to bring in the data first. So I can bring in the R data, or I can use the CSV file. So let's say I brought in the CSV file, then I attached the data, and then I actually divided the data just like previously we did into two data sets, D1 and D2. So you can see in D1 and D2 we have only CW species, only PLC species. After adding that, we would like to create one graph where we can add the actually two graphs side by side and one legend. So you can see I did not add them inside, I added them outside so that I can mention everything in one legend for these two graphs. To do that, all we need to do is that we have to refer this legend to the last graph. So let's say I use this graph as my reference, and then where to start, let's say I would like to start somewhere here. So that means referring to this graph, it started from 0, right? X-axis started from 0, but I would like to go in this area. That means I have to use the negative value. So let's say negative 400 maybe. And then in the y-axis, I again have to go below. That means I have to use the negative values, maybe negative 30 or something. So that's how we can add one legend. So you can see at first I added all the detail as I used to do, and then I said that I would like to create a permanent graph, and there should be two graphs side by side using the par function. After that, I added these two graphs, and I mentioned the legend, and within the legend I added the location. You can see negative values. That means I would like to go beyond this graph, so I am going to refer this graph. So that's how I added. So let's see over here how I added that. So you can see if we run everything together, so you can see I said graphics off. That means it's going to produce the one legend graph. So let's see on the file where we produce the graph. So you can see I use -700. That means it will go to this side because I added the minus value, and then for the y-axis I said the minus value. If we want to move it a little bit further on this side, then you have to use instead of -700, you have to say minus, let's say 900. If I do that, then you will see that the graph we have will move this legend little bit on this side because I added the -900. And then you can also move it to below, but before you do that, you also need to add some space on the bottom area. To add some space on the bottom area, before we do that, let's remove that, and you can see I added more space on the bottom. That means 3, so that we can add this legend at the bottom. If you don't create that much space, you will see that it's not showing the legend because we need more space on the bottom area. And I provided more examples for creating the bar plot. So you can see next time I use the tree data. So let's run the data. So I brought in the trees data. So let's see what we have. So in trees data we have tree information, and then date, species, crown closer, whether they're the dominant or close or like intermediate, what are they, and then we have the DBH and height information. So what we are doing is that we are checking the dimension, what are the name, and attach the data set. Okay, then I created a table. So I said that what's the class of my crown class variable in my trees data. After doing that, I said that for the crown class, since it's a categorical variable, create a table and print it. So you can see I created a table, and I say that for each type how many trees we have. That means we are trying to create a frequency table. That means crown class C has 14 observation, crown class D has 9 observation. That's how I created the table. After creating the table, then I said that use that table and create a bar plot. So let's say I created the bar plot. So that means over here I showed the table we just created before, CDIS. That means all these categories are mentioned in here, but I would like to add the Y limit. So you can see right now I bar for I is way too high than the Y level. What I would like to do is to make it so that we can make it larger, so that we can include all the bars inside, and then we can see the number here. So that's what I tried. So you can see I increase the y-axis, so that you can see that. And then the next one, I said I would like to create the bar graph, but then again on the y-axis and x-axis I would like to add the labels. So you can see I added the labels, and then I just created one graph. You can say I added xpd equals NA. So also on, I forgot to mention on the previous one, here one legend. So you can see whenever we go beyond our graph area, that means when we have this one legend, then if you need to go beyond, that means outside of your graph area, not inside. Inside we did not add the legend, we added the legend outside. So all you need to do is to say xpd equals NA. So if you add that, then you can go outside your graph area. That's the same thing I added, but I did not add anything in here. If you want to add any legend, you can add the legend using this function. If you say detached trees, that means it's not attached anymore. Okay. The next one, you will see that how we can create more bar charts. So you can see I added the VRI data again, and then I say that what are the class and plot the species variable. So you can see species variable is plotted since it's categorical variable. So you can see factor categorical variable, it creates the bar plot. I did not say that what should be the plot, whether it's bar plot or something else. It knows what to plot because it's a categorical variable. And then you can see I created a table, and I said that show me the percentage of those species. Let's say that percentage of them are not shown. It's only shown in here is that in species variable for each category how many observations are there. To make it as a percentage, what we need to do, we need to divide them how many we have and then multiply it by 100, so that we can get the table as a percentage. So if I plot that, then you will see, so you can see the percentage of each species in the data set. Then I said that when I have the percentage, then create the bar plot. That means it's telling me that for about 41% is this species. We have some missing values as well. So right now we plotted them by percentage, and then we can add the elements one by one. So you can see I added x-axis level, I added y-axis level, also I added a title, just like we did before. Main is the title, x lab, y lab. And then on the next one, you can see I added the in the bar plot I rotated the y-axis values. So let's show you what I meant by that. I added this LAS equals 1. So you can see I actually had the percentage in the other ways. So if I plot this one, then you can see it better. So you can see we have the species and we have the leading species, we have the percentage and species here. But then again in the next one, if I use LAS1, then you can see we had 40 is written this way, but if I wrote LAS1, 40 is written in the other way. So we rotate our x-axis, y-axis ticks. Then we said that how about we add some names. So for each of them we want to add the proper names on the y-axis. So you can see I added missing values, and then I added the what is that, non-treed stand, that means we don't have anything, and then western red cedar CW, and then alder, and then western hemlock. So all of them I named them, but if we name them, you can see it's not showing properly because there is not much space we have. To make more space, you need to organize it differently. So you can see I added the names and shorten some of them. You can short the names as well, and then I say that adjust the names, to reduce the names to adjust the space. So if I do that, instead of, you can see logical point, I said L dot. Let's see whether we have more space or not. So we have more space than before, since we added the size of those fonts. That means right now it's way too small, and then we reduce the name. That's how you can categorize, show the category of a variable in Barplot. Okay, so that's what I showed you in here on this slide, how we can create the bar plots. Also I gave you the data sets and the output and the one legend that I created in this RMD file. Same thing on the cloud. I brought in the file, I just added the R data file, and then you can run them. So let's say I run these, and then you can create the one legend in here, and then you can get different files. Oh, it cannot read it because we did not give the text file, we just gave the trees in here. So if I use the R data, then you don't need to use this, and then you can run it because I added the R data. Okay, so you can see I added bar plot, and then you can also create those plots as well. So that many plots. So you can see this is the last one and the previous one, and then the other ones, and you can save it and it to Word and save them on your desktop. Okay, so that's it for the R, how we can add single legend, how we can add bar plot, and how we can add more parameters on the bar plot, so that we can, it's actually the visualization is proper. That means publication quality. And if you need to create a bar plot in any of your project, you can create that and put it into your Word file. That's it for now. Thank you.